Now, fire crews are still working to contain the biggest blaze to hit the US state of California this year. The so-called Oak Fire, which had threatened the Yosemite National Park, has been partially contained, but it's not yet fully under control. DW correspondent Stefan Simons is on the ground in Mariposa County, where firefighters are still hard at work.
Driving through the hills and into the mountains surrounding small-town Mariposa on the southwest corner of Yosemite Park feels almost like entering a different world. The firefighters we accompany liken it often to a lunar landscape. Some fire crews are swarming the charred grounds the Oak Fire left behind. They are mopping up, as they say, reoccurring hotspots, attending smoldering tree trunks. Others are assigned to check on established so-called lines or to expand them. Joe Amador, a fire captain from San Diego and the press information officer assigned to us, explains.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to build a perimeter around this burn here, right, to keep it from spreading, and that's what this protection line is doing.
So they leave that here.
They leave that here.
In case the fire...
Another fire, exactly.
They connect, they go up there, and they can fight the fire.
And they're already ready to go.
As we're making our way deeper into the mountains and towards the front line where the Oak Fire is actively burning, we're passing sites of utter destruction, examples of destroyed property and in many cases lost livelihoods.
The interesting thing here is that this side of the street where we are now here is, as you can see, totally destroyed. Now, if we look at this side of the street, there, the neighbor got spared. I asked Joe, our press information officer who is with us, why that is.
It's very usual to see a fire come through and destroy whole blocks of homes and property, and then maybe another house completely untouched. So that's the thing about fire. It has no respect for who it destroys or what it destroys.
As much as that is true, firefighters also say that fire education and preparation are most critical. Some residents like Nick Smith and his fiancée Cheyenne Michelle took matters in their own hands successfully as soon as the fire came for them. They had the necessary tools to protect their home though, a dozer and other heavy machinery.
This was on fire, that was on fire, behind us was on fire, and it was starting to wrap around, so all four ridges. Yep.
Fire everywhere, the reality for many of the 3,000 deployed firefighters who still fight the Oak Fire at its front line. However, a day without strong winds helps. They can use aerial assets.
This is frontline firefighting right there. There's the active fire, Oak Fire. You see the smoke in the background, and that's why we have the staging ground here, firefighters and helicopters. They go to what is called a dip.
The dip is a pond in the backyard of a resident who had been evacuated. On this day, 3 choppers get water from here and dump it over the fire. If everything works out, California's largest wildfire this year to date is expected to be under control in about 2 weeks or so.
And DW's Stefan Simons is in Mariposa County. He joins us now for the latest. Stefan, you spent the day on the ground with firefighters. How are they getting on?
Well, I have to tell you, the fire is 30% contained, but as you mentioned, almost 19,000 acres strong now, destroyed by the fires, and still burning. We spent a day with Cal Fire, with firefighters from all over the country and the Forest Service here. And that was quite an experience. Those crews are busy mopping up where the fire has already raged through and left only destruction in its way. They're putting out hotspots and checking on so-called lines. Those are spaces they clear of the brush and of undergrowth so the fire can't jump. So they have established those, they go back, they check, they have to water down tree trunks which are still smoldering. So that is not all hunky-dory here. It's a dangerous situation, and there is still thousands and thousands of impactors, 3,000 firefighters taking care of the fire now and making progress, but slowly, very slowly.
Other than the sheer size of the fire, which are the main challenges they're encountering?
Well, this fire is erratically behaving. It's jumping. It has a lot of fuel to burn. Why is that? Because Mariposa County didn't have a wildfire of note for almost 100 years. The last big wildfire here was in the 1920s. So there's a lot of brush undergrowth, which is fuel for this fire. And if you add wind, which we didn't have today, and that was a good thing for the firefighters because they could use helicopters to pick up water and dump it over the hot spots, over those fires where the fire is still raging, actually. But if they don't have that, if you add the wind to this, fire can jump and destroys lots of acreage, lots of acres very, very quickly, and homes and livelihoods of the people who live in the mountains here around.
Yeah, actually a big part of Mariposa County residents have already been evacuated. You today met some of them. What have they been telling you?
Yeah, they have been evacuated. Some are actually allowed to go back now to their properties or to what is left of them. We met a very interesting young couple who actually had the tools to protect their property. Well, a bulldozer basically in the front yard. And so the young gentleman was able to actually make a line to protect his home and that of his fiancée from the fires when it started just a few days ago. But a lot of people are not so lucky, and they are devastated, traumatized, and come home to nothing. There are still a lot of people here in the evacuation center in Mariposa, a small town of 1,100 people. And as you can imagine, this puts a strain on the town, on the county, on everybody here. Those people are, of course, not very happy, and they will have to wait to what they come back and find what they come back to. Maybe lost livelihoods or maybe just damaged homes.
DW correspondent Stefan Simons in Mariposa, thank you so much.